Sì. A very good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone can listen me. Say yes or no in the Q&A, guys. Yep. I got the good afternoon from you. Is my voice audible, guys? Everyone, please let me know. Is my voice is clear for you? Yeah, here you can use the emojis as well, guys. If you go to the emojis, the thumbs up option is been there for you. So if you click on that also, that is also fine. I can directly note it down that everything is fine. If you're not able to type that in the Q&A, okay? Yeah, so let me wait for 5 to 10 minutes once again because students are still joining. And also, please inform your friends, guys. That is very important, right? Because we are under the live sessions and we are going to discuss the new topic that is data management. Okay, so today the mainly topic I'm going to pick and I'm going to explain is table administrator in the ServiceNow. Okay. So how we are going to use the tables, how we are going to use the existing tables, how we are going to use the standard tables, how we are going to use the new tables that are created by the user, and what are the major differences that we observe difference between the user created table and the table that is existing in the instance. Okay. So, and what are the roles that they have? What are the permissions, other permissions that they are providing whenever we are creating table? Okay. So we will see all the things, and we will get to know in detail about the table administrator today. So I hope everyone will listen the class, and I'm waiting for a few more minutes, guys. Just wait for 5 minutes. Then after I do start this class. Okay. And I want here the small note for you, everyone. At the last 20 minutes of the session, please remind me, guys. I'm going to share one link. In that particularly, you are going to have a quiz. Okay, so that is on the previous topics that we have discussed. So no need to worry about that. That is a very small exam. In that only there will be 10 questions that are MCQs that you need to attend. I need to score that. Okay. So I'm going to share that form at the last end of the session, around last 20 minutes of the session. So please remind that for me so that I'm going to share that for you and you are going to write the exam. Okay. So that is also very important for us, guys, so that we can get to know what is the current knowledge that you're requiring from our side. Okay. So I hope everyone clear that exam very with the 10 by 10 questions and 10 by 10 marks. So I'm expecting everyone will crack that easily and everyone will get 10 by 10. So yeah, just wait for 5 minutes. Then after we will start the session. Okay. So meanwhile, if we have any doubts regarding the yesterday session or day before today's session, so if you are having any kind of queries, you can ask me in the Q&A. I'm definitely here to help you guys. And the today's topic is table administrator. Gangotri, the today's topic is all about the table administrator. So we are getting to see how the standard tables are there in the instance and how we are going to build a custom table. Sorry, how we are going to build the custom tables. Then after, how we are going to use them. Okay. And what are the things that are created? What are the other things that we need to add? So is there any role given? Is there any role we need to specify to the user? So everything will be good. So please upload recording classes. Sai Raghuram, I think that is uploaded. I think so. I've already confirmed that recording session has been updated. Please check that, guys. If you are able to see that, that is fine. Otherwise, please let me know. So I will be back in 5 minutes, guys. So guys, yep, I'm back. Are you able to hear me? Please respond to me, guys. So what is the last date for completion of IBM and NASCOM? So the completion of IBM is today and means tomorrow, exactly tomorrow. So if you go for the NASCOM, that is a different case. So we have a lot of time to complete the NASCOM courses. Okay. So don't worry about the NASCOM courses. I will explain when to be completed that. So shall we start our explanation, guys, for today's class? So I already informed that today we are going to discuss about the major topic called one more major topic called data management. In that, we are firstly focusing on the table administrator. Okay, so let me share my screen. Please confirm that you are able to see that or not. Okay. Yeah, I'm sharing the screen. Yeah, Rohini, I will make sure that. So let me ask that as well now itself. Let me confirm that. Yeah, I think he's busy, guys. Let me do that at the end of the session because at the end of the session we have some timer, right? I already told that in today's session I'm going to discuss one topic. Okay, so that is table administrator. After completion of that topic, we will have a quiz for everyone. Okay, so everyone should be participating and everyone should answer the questions that is there in the quiz. That is very important. Okay, sir, IBM cloud account creation not working, sir. Um, can you take a screenshot of that and post that in the Telegram group, Durga? Guys, any errors that you face, anything related to the course that you can ask in the Telegram group. Okay, so Telegram group is that for that purpose only. So there itself, you are getting the resolutions for your question. Okay, so as comes to this training course, you can ask the topic things like yesterday we have discussed the user management. In that, two of the important topic was discussed yesterday, right? So groups we have discussed and roles we have discussed. So in the same way, you can ask anything that you want from rather than the things that I have explained. If you find anything new or if you want to know anything new, you can explain that. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so as comes to today's topic, we are mainly focusing on the one topic under data management, that is table administrator. Okay, so whereas coming to the table administrator, you all know about the table. So that is a very simple thing. Table is nothing but table is nothing but a place we are going to store our records, like whatever the data that we are collecting, right? So suppose if you are working on any organization or if you're working on any company, so each and every company do store the data in the form of tables. Okay, so that is in the form of, so that will be stored into the cloud. Okay, so whereas come to the ServiceNow also, we have tables. Okay, that we call as a tables, the database that we store entire things that we call as a table. Okay. So whereas coming to the table, these are the things that you need to know. Whereas come to the table in the ServiceNow, a place that is where we are going to store the records, and it also consists of rows and columns. Okay. So the table do consist of rows and columns. A row is known as record and column is known as field. Okay. So a row is known as record and a column is known as field. That I will clarify here itself. Let me share this one also. So I'm just taking the example of an incident table, guys, that is already created, right? So let me open that incident table. I'm going to the all records. Here the things that you are seeing at the row. If I select this, the entire row is being selected. That means I'm going to select one of the record that is having a ticket issue of test Indian time zone. Okay, that is a ticket issue. So that is storing in the form of one record. Okay, so the things that you're seeing in the columns, like these are the columns. Okay, so each and every column do have a separate name that allows the person to store the data. Okay, so here the things that are there in the column that we call fields, that are the things that are there in the rows that we call as records. Okay, so table is mainly helps to store the records in the form of rows. Okay, so next, if we go for the next few points that we have, whereas coming to the fields, so I already told that we have fields. So these are the fields, right? These are all fields: number, open, short description, caller, priority, state, category, assignment group, assigned to, everything is a field. So if you want to create a field, so we have n number of data types in our ServiceNow. Like suppose if I want to collect a student database, okay, so let me consider one simple scenario where I'm going to build a college application. So for that college application, I want to collect a student data. Okay, so for the student data, what are the fields that I need to ask to the student? Like what are the questions that I need to ask to the student that are nothing but a fields. So if any other person who comes to the place, right, rather than the students that I'm calling now, the same fields will be applicable to the other students also. Okay, so that are nothing but fields, the common things, that common questions that are asked by the person whenever you're joining as a student. Okay, so first thing, your name, full name, department. Okay, so these all things are being stored in the record, right? So in the same way, if you want to create any field, like suppose if you want to store the data of the field called name, then what you will do, I will need to decide the data type of that field also, right? That means that will store the data in the form of that data type. Okay, so like if I want to store the name field, then I will use directly string. You all know about the data type called string that helps to store the data in the form of text as well as the data in the form of numbers. Okay, so you don't specifically focus on any other things. It will allow the data, whatever the data that you enter randomly. Okay, so that is nothing but a string data type. Suppose if you want to go for the department, so suppose if you want to go for the department, that is nothing but one student can join to the CSC department, one student can join to the IT department, one student can join to the AML department, one student can join to the DS department. So each and every person having a different department, right? So that nothing but that is considering multiple choices over there. Okay, so from that multiple choices, I am going to pick one only. As a student, I'm going to pick only one. So further also we need to specify the data type. So I will let you know, you all get to see how I'm going to use the different data types for different fields. Okay, so let me continue. Then after we will go with the creation, and in that we will clearly identify what are the things that we are going to see. For reference, here are the few different data types that are being chosen and displayed over here. One is string, one is choice, one is reference, one is integer. So you all know about the string. The thing that I have explained just now is a choice. Okay, so whereas coming to this reference, so it will take one class for me to explain this reference data type, guys. So in the next classes we are going to discuss about this particularly because one entire concept is included on this particular reference data type. Okay, so we will discuss clearly about this reference data type and how we are using this and why we are using this and where we are using this. So you all need to get to know how these things are going to happen. Then after integer, you all know that will store the numerical values that may be in the plus or that may be in the minus. Okay, so that's all we are going to use the different data types. But these are the simple examples that we have. If you go for the ServiceNow instance, there are almost 60 to 70 plus data types. Okay, so we can use all different kind of data types that are required to us. So let me go with the next points here. There are 5,000 plus tables defaultly given in by the ServiceNow. We also create a custom table. Okay, so it is telling that already in the table where we are going to create a table. Like yesterday and day before yesterday, we observed that to create a user, we went to user module. To create a table, sorry, to create a group, we went to group module. To create a role, we went to row module, right? So in the same way, if you want to create a table, we need to go to the tables module. I will show you where is the exact navigation that you need to go and how you can create the table after the explanation. Okay, so there is something that you need to know before going to the practical knowledge. So that is also very important, guys. Okay, so here you got to know, right? There are 5,000 plus tables or defaultly given in the service, and we can also create a custom table. So that we also call as a user created table. And here a few more points are there. I will validate these points whenever I'm going to create the custom table. Okay, so you can read this out, and I will make sure to show this particular PPT once again whenever I'm going to create a custom table. So next, going with the next slide. Here comes the relationships, guys. Okay, so here comes the relationships that are there in the service. Okay, so where here also we do have one to many and many to many and database view and extensions. So consider that we have only two relationships, and these two are the extra extensions that we can use for the table. Okay, so I will explain you what are the different relationships that we have in the service now and how we are going to use that. Okay, so if you go for the one to many, so that means within a table a field can hold a reference to a record of another table. That means suppose I'm in a student table, guys. Okay, assume that I'm in a student table, but I want a record details of a teacher table also. I want a record details of a teacher table also. Like whoever the teacher that I'm going to select, I need to see the entire preview of that record. Okay, and I can make sure assure that whatever the record that I'm going to select, that particular record should contain data within that particular record. Okay, so that is only possible using the reference. Okay, so I will tell you in detail about this why I will be working on that. So you will get to know how we are going to use this as well. Okay, suppose consider that simply, just consider that in a single table we are calling multiple tables records data. Okay, so in a single table we are going to call multiple tables record data. That is nothing but a one to many relationship. So whereas coming to many relationships, so this thing is already performed by you in yesterday's and day before yesterday's class. How I can tell that? Okay, so that we have created the role, right? And we also created the group, and we also created the users. I already declared that one user can be in a multiple groups and one user can have multiple roles. So that means whatever the role that is given by a role, or whatever the role that is given to the user, or whatever the group that is given to the user, it does not matters if the same rule is applicable for the group or if the same rule is applicable for the user also. Okay, but that user can be in any position. That is nothing but a many to many relationships, guys. Okay, for your understanding, let me take a small example. Suppose in a class we have 10 students, and in the college we are going to conduct 10 activities. Okay, so one is science fair, one is global certification program, one is different kind of programs are going on at the same time, that are activities. And consider that we have a 10 students in a single class. I'm not telling that 10 students in the class should enroll to 10 programs, like 10 particular activities that is going to happen. I told the students that you need to participate in the activities. Okay. I told the students that you people need to participate in activities. Then one student can join in all the 10 activities, and second student can join only in the 2 activities, and third students can only join in the 5 activities. Okay, so that are nothing but one person is being added to the multiple activities, and also in one activity multiple students also is there. Okay, so consider that I have 10 members and I have 10 programs. So first one is ServiceNow admin program. Okay, so these 10 people, in these 10 people, so 5 people enroll for the first program and 5 people are not enrolling for that. So that means for first activity there are 5 people. Okay, and for single student there will be multiple activities. I told that there will be multiple programs. The first student who is enrolled for the ServiceNow admin, that person can also enroll for the second program. I'm not restricting that person. I told that students can go for the activities. Okay, so got the clarity, guys, how the many to many relationship is working? Let me know. So chat is disabled in the Telegram group. I will make sure that it will be active, guys. Okay, so no need to worry. Whatever the doubts that you have, right? Let just ask after the 4:10. Okay. After that, I'm going to share the link, as well as I'm giving time for you people to get the clarity, right? Okay. Okay. So got the clarity about the one to many and many to many. Next comes the database view. What is this database view and where we use this database views here? Like, so we have one table called CMDB, guys. So that is basically for the configuration items. So whatever the tables that you see in the instance, everything is a standard table. So in that particularly, we have few main tables. So that is one is task and one is CMDB. Okay, so one is task table and one more is CMDB. Whatever the things that you are seeing, like incident, problem, change, that all are extended from the task table. And whereas coming to the CMDB, like configuration item relationship, and time limit. So these are the extra tables that are created by the CMDB. Okay, these two are the main tables that you need to remember. But here is a difference. Whereas coming to the task table and incident table, we can see the exact view of a structure, like which table is connected with which table and what are the reference tables that are used in a single table. To see that, we have a schema map for the task tables. Okay, so what are the tables that that we are going to create, and what are the tables that are created by them that are under task, that all do you have an access to see the relationships based on the schema map. Whereas coming to the CMDB, there is no particular option called schema map. We will directly go to the database view. Okay, so in that we will see how the table is joined with another table. That means if I consider one item has been created in this particular manufacturing unit, and this manufacturing unit is located in this particular location, and this location is been monitored by the main office. Okay, so these are the different relationships we have, right? So from the main office, I can see the location, I can see the manufacturing unit, I can see the item that I have created. So that's how we are going to see the database view. Okay, so that's how the configuration items are going to work. Okay, whereas coming to the incident task, that is a different perspective. Okay, so I will tell that also clearly. And whereas coming to this extensions, what is this extensions and how we are going to extend a table and to use that table to the other table. The explanation is very clear here. A table that extends another table, that is nothing but a extendable table, extend table. Okay, so here whatever the tables that we have in the system, whatever the tables that we have in our system, suppose if I want to create a new table, I can create a table extending that table. Okay, so if my data is similar to catch the same data that has been captured in the standard table, I can extend that table and create my table. And whatever the properties that is there in that particular configuration table will be available in my table that I'm going to create by selecting the extensible option. So we will see this all things in detailedly whenever we are working on the table. So as for now, just assume that these are the concepts that we have, and I will also show you how we are going to see one to many, many to many, and each and everything. Okay. So next, with the next two things are the most important things for the table. Okay. So whereas coming to the table administrator, the table administrators have four types of tables. Okay. One is base table, one is core table, one is extended table, one is custom table. Okay. Whereas coming to the base table, what is this base table? So base table is nothing but a table that is not extended from any other table. Okay. So base table is a table that is not extended from any other table. That can be a custom table, that can be a standard table. Okay. So as I told, the two main tables that we have, right? As I told, the two main tables that we have in our system, okay, that is task and that is CMDB, right? These two are the tables that are not extended from any other table, and that are also standard tables. Okay. So that are base tables. So please write down the definition, guys. Base tables are tables that may be a standard table, that may be a custom table, but that should not be an extended table. Okay, that should not be an extended table. That means the properties of the table should not come from another table. Whatever the configurations that are there in the table, that should be owned by that table only. So whatever the configurations that are coming from the other table, that will call as an extended table. Okay. So base table and extended table. Got the idea, guys? Got the idea? Please give the thumbs up or say yes in the chat. Guys, my network is perfectly working fine. Check with your networks. Okay. So who are telling voice is breaking? Check with your networks. My network is working fine, and even voice is also clear for everyone. Okay. Sir, one second explain, sir. Once again explain. Okay. So who are the base tables? And in ServiceNow, everything will be stored in the table only, guys. Everything, whatever the things that you build, that will be stored in the form of table. That may be a table that you are going to create, that will be stored in the table. That may be a user that is going to store in the table, right? User table, groups table, role table, application table, module table, everything will in the ServiceNow going to store in the form of a table. Okay. So yeah, guys, that was disabled. We can't access that. Okay. So even with the preferences. Guys, check with this now. You are able to access the chat or not? Otherwise, leave it. Okay, no problem. We can access using the Q&A as well. Okay, everyone will are replying in the Q&A. No issues. Yeah, we will work with the Q&A, guys. No problem. Okay. Yeah, definition, right, Gangotri? So base table is a table that may be a custom table or that may be a standard table. Okay, that may be a custom table, that may be standard table. But that table should not be extended from the table. Okay, so the table that you're creating should not be any other table that we So for example, let me show you here that so all main, and we will see the tables under system definition. So you can see the module name called tables, right? So this is the tables. You need to click on these tables. Then after you will find out all the tables in the instance. So you can see around 5,700 plus tables are being there in the instance. Okay. So we have used a few tables already, right? Incident, problem. Let me search for the tables. Are the tables are there in this particular instance or not? So I can see the incident table, right? If you click on this incident table record, I'm opening the record of an incident table. You can see that is been extended from the task table. Okay, that means this is not a base table. This is extended from the task table. That means this is not a base table. Now I will show you which table is a base table. So here I'm searching for the task. Let me click on the task. You can see there is no extensible option here. There is no extensible option here. Got the idea, guys? There is no extensible option here. That means whatever the fields that you are going to see here, what are the fields that are going to visible for this table, all the fields owned by this table only, not from the other table. Okay. So this table is nothing but a base table. Whereas coming to the tables that we used previously, like incident table, problem table, and change table, okay, that all are tables that are created in the system, but that are core tables, that are not a base tables. Got the idea? So tables that are not extended from any other table, that is nothing but a base table. So the tables that are created by the sorry, the tables that are created by the system, all the tables that we consider as a core tables, guys. Okay. So the tables that are created by the system itself, that means out of the box tables that we have in our instance, the tables that you are seeing now, like we are almost seeing 5,000 plus tables, right? All the tables that are visible to you, all are core tables. Okay. All are core tables. The tables that are created by the user, that are custom tables. Okay. So let me write down the definition here. Tables that are not extended from any other table are called base tables. Whereas coming to core table, all the tables so let me redefine this definition, guys. So whereas coming to the core tables, all the tables given by the system, that are core tables. Okay. So core table is a table that can be any table, but that are given by the system. So if you go for the incident, if you go for the task, any table that you go for the system, in the system, if you go for the user, if you go for the groups, if you go for the roles, every table that you see, that is nothing but a core table, because that are not created by the user, that are given by the ServiceNow people itself. Okay. So whereas coming to the custom, user created tables are custom tables. user created tables or custom tables. Okay. So whereas coming to the last one, extended table. So the table that is been extended from the parent and getting the properties of the parent, that we call as an extended table. Okay. So we will write this as divided as two parts. Okay. So in this we can see two things. One is parent table. One is child table. Okay. So whereas coming to the parent table, it can be any table that has been created by us or that has been there in the system. If we are using that table as our reference and we are using that as our reference and we are creating one more table that we call as a child table, and in that child table we are getting the exact properties of that parent table, that will consider as an extended table. Okay, so these are the things that you need to know, guys. For example, for the base table, examples are task, cmd, whereas coming to the core, any table you go for, that is nothing but a core table. Okay. So task is also a core table, guys. Task, CMDB, everything is a core table also. Incident. Okay. So next goes with any table, etc. That is nothing but a core tables. So whereas coming to the custom tables, that are user created table, and whereas coming to the external table, so it will be divided as two things. One is parent table and one is child table. So whereas coming to the external table, the purpose of external table is nothing but getting the exact properties and exact configuration from the parent table, and that is being applicable in the child table. That is nothing but an extended table. Okay. So let me go and let me tell you how we are going to create a table in the instance. Guys, you will get a clarification how why I'm calling one table as a parent table and why I'm calling one table as a child table. So you will get the clarity afterwards. Let me show that. Okay. So to create a table in the ServiceNow, okay, to create a table in the ServiceNow, we need to go to the all. Here in I need to search for the tables under system definition. This is the application name, guys. Under system definition, I'm going to see the module name called tables. Let me click on this so that it will help me to navigate the master table. Okay, this is the master table where we are going to create the tables. Okay, so this particular location, we call this as a master table. And now I'm in the master table. Let me create a new table in this. So where I'm taking the example of student only. Okay, so here it is showing like extends table. So let me explain that later on. So as for now, let me defaultly go and create the table, and I will show you what are the other things that are going to create and what are the important things that you need to know whenever the table is being created. Okay. So before clicking on the submit, I want to tell you one more thing, guys. Like from the previous classes, we are using this particularly. This we call as a form header. The thing that you are seeing on the form, right? On the top of the form, that we call as a form header. If you right click on the form header, we have few more options here. We can save that. Okay. So if you want to save the entire record that you are going to create into the database table, we can save that as well. And we can click on submit as well. Okay. Even we can do that using this particular options, additional actions, we call that, but we call that as an context menu. Okay. So we call this in a context menu. Click on this contextual menu and you can click on save to save this particular record. And if you click on the save, if you click on the submit, what is the major difference that you're going to observe is like, if you click on submit, it will save the entire record that you're going to create in the table and it will save into the database. But if you click on save, what happens, the entire record will be saving into the database, but you will remain in the same page, guys. Okay, the page where I'm in here, I'm going to be in this particular page only. I'm not going to the back of the list, like I'm not going to back where the list of tables have been there. I'm directly going to see the same preview, but this record has been saved to the database. Okay, so let me click on save this for now. so that I'm going to show the changes after what is this happening. So now I have been created one table that is with the name student. Okay. So you can see I got lot of changes on the form. I got lot of changes on the form. Previously, there are a lot of things. Now it is not there. So after creating this record, like after creating this table, so a lot of things has been created. Let me explain that one by one. Before that, let me show you whether this table has been created or not. So now I am in the tables, right? So let me search for my table, that is student. So this is the student table. Let me click on this. The same thing that you're going to see now. Okay. So if you click on the submit also, it will go back to the list of records. From there, you are going to open the student record from like this only, student table record like this only. Okay. So whenever the table is been created, what are the other things that are going to create? So let me tell you. So whenever the table is being created, guys, so there are a lot of things that going to pre-created. So you can see there are 6 columns already created. So these are the columns. Okay, these are the columns, nothing but a fields. Okay, there are 6 columns already created. So one is created by, one is sysid, one is created, one is updates, one is updated by, last one is updated. Okay, so whereas coming to the other things that are going to create whenever the user whenever the table is being created, that are 4 ACLs, the access control list, where we are going to create the record, where we are going to read the record, where we are going to write the record, that means edit the record, where we are going to delete the record. So these are the 4 operations that are going to create it whenever the table is been created. As well as we are going to see all the related links that you are going to see here, everything is been created whenever the table is been created. One form is created, one list has been created, one schema map has been created for this table, and even we can add this table to the service catalog and we can run and we can explore that with the REST API. Okay. So whenever the table has been created with that particular table, there are a lot of things are created. So first things you can tell that there are 6 particular fields that are going to create, that are created by sysid, created, updates, updated by, updated. Okay. So rather than that, if you go for down, you can see there are 4 ACLs already created that to control the record level of access. That is nothing but read, write, and delete, create. Okay. Or rather than that, if you see one form has been created for this table and one list has been created from this table. So I'm not going to create any field as for now. I will tell you how you are going to create the fields also. And I want to show you a lot of the other things also created rather than this. So if you go for the control section here, we have 2 more sections, right? One is columns, one is controls, one is application access. If you go for the control section, whenever the table is been created, automatically it is creating one table role, guys. Okay. Whenever the table has been created, automatically it is creating one role for the table where this role is mandatory to access this particular table. Okay, got the idea how I'm explaining this? This role, this particular role is very mandatory to access this table data. Okay, so let me tell you and let me brief you out as well how I'm explaining this. Now I have created this particular table, right? So let me go to the all and search student. So if you see in the all also, some more things also already created for the table that I have created. So I just created a table itself. It is creating lot of things. Okay. One application is created with the table, one module is created with the table, and one role is been created to the table. 4 ACLs also created, and 6 fields also created, and one application access also created. Okay, so these many things are going to create whenever the table is been created. Okay, so if we go to the all and if we click on this particular module called students, what happens? It will show the list of records. As for now, there is no records, right? There are no records. Just now I have created the table. That is the custom table. Okay, just now I have created this table, right? This particular table is a custom table. So if you see, I can see only one field with the name of created. And if you go for, if I click on new, I can't see any field. I can't see any field. That means whatever the fields that are seen by you, like when whenever I'm going in the tables record, whenever in the table record, what are the fields that you are seeing here? Like created by, sysid, created, updated, updates, updated by. So these all fields are these all fields are auto populated, guys. So we are not going to create any one of them, and we are not going to manage any one of them. Each and every field is a read only field that will update the value whenever you are doing something on the record. Okay, so let me go to the student table once again. So now I'm in the student table. So let me create one record. I'm not going to see any fields. I already told that. Let me click on submit. Okay, so here one field is been there. For that particular field, I can see one record has been created with the timings of this. Okay, so you can check the date and you can check the timing as well. Okay, one record is been created with this particular time zone. Okay, so this how we are going to create a table, and this how we are going to create a record in a table, guys. Now, if you have any kind of doubts, if you want to ask, you can ask me. Otherwise, I will continue, because when whatever the things that I'm explaining, that is very important for you to understand. Guys, any doubts until now? Yeah, Sham. While working on the table itself, I'm going to explain that once again. No problem. Okay. Asma, sorry. Asma, I'm going to explain that once again. No problem. So, guys, until now, any doubts? How you can create the table and how you can check what are the things that are created by the table? Okay. Any doubts? Yes. Okay. I got some answers clear. Yeah, guys. Okay. So, no problem. If you see, if you see all the tables that are there in the system, that all are standard tables, and I told that the table that I have created, that is a custom table. How you are going to identify that? Okay, so how you are going to identify? Let me go to the tables here. Now I'm under the tables module. Let me click on that. Now I'm in the master table, where I'm going to see all the tables that are there in the system. Now let me search for my table, that is student. Okay, the label name of the student is student only. But if you see the APA name of the table, if you see the APA name of the table is U underscore student. So this how you are going to identify that this particular thing is a custom table. Okay. So let me search for the student, sorry, incident here. So if you see for the incident, there is no particular U underscore incident. The whatever the label name that is there for the table, whatever the name that is there for the label for the table, that will be same as for the API name of the table also. But whereas coming to the custom tables, that is always starting with the U underscore table name. Okay. So whatever the table name that you give, whatever the table name that you give, for that it starts with U underscore table name. Okay. So now let me go and create one more table for the sample, and I want to show the difference. What are the other options that you are going to see whenever you are going to create the table? So previously I have directly created the table, right? Now let me show you what are the things that you are going to observe here. So this is the table form, right? Whenever I'm clicking on the new, this is the form that is going to open. So this is the name that I'm going to give here, like a demo test. Okay, so this is the label name that I'm giving. You can see the name is automatically generated. So it will consider space as underscore, as well as for the custom, it do add U underscore demo. Here also I'm not selecting any extended table. Okay, so here also I'm not selecting any extended table. I will tell you while explaining the topic of extension. Here, at the right side, you can see create module, create mobile module, create module to menu, and create menu name. Okay, so new menu name, remote table. So these are the extra options that we have. So we have already enabled this. Like whenever we are opening form, that is already checked. Okay, if you want to remove this, like whenever I'm creating a table, that should not be created. Okay, whenever I'm creating a table, for that table, I don't want to create any module. I don't want to create any application for the table. Then what can I do? I can uncheck this particular create module. And if I click on save now, if I click on submit now, you can see my table has been created, demo. So my table has been created. If I click on this table also, I can see all the default fields are created, all the ACLs are created. Okay, all the default fields are created for this also. All the ACLs also created for this, and list is created, form is created, and one role is also created. Okay, but if you see, there won't be any application as well as module now. There won't be any application as well as module. Let me search for that. So previously I created student table and I have searched for the student directly, and I got to know whenever I'm creating a table, it is automatically creating student application as well as module with the same name. Okay, but if I want to, if I don't want to create a module and application, I can remove the checkbox and created one more table called demo text. Demo test. So let me search for that. It is showing no result. Okay, these are how the differences that you need to observe whenever you're going to give the module and application name for the table, and whatever the thing that you're going to check or uncheck that. Okay, so now let me open this table. Okay, like previously I have just clicked on the module name of the student. I have clicked on the module name of the student. I have clicked on the module name of the student so that I can see the list of records of a student table. To see the list of records of a demo test, I need to call the API name, that is the backend name. That means u underscore demo underscore this dot demo underscore test dot list. If I click on enter, now I'm going to see the table demo test, and I can use this particular table to see the, so I can use this particular function to see the list of records that are present in the demo test. The same thing here also, guys. There are no fields are created as per now. If you click on submit, it is creating the automated fields that are given by the system. The 6 fields that are there, right? So each and every field will be given over here. Okay. Now let me explain you. Let me explain you whatever the tables that I have created, right? Like a student and demo test. I want to ask one question for you guys. I want to ask one question for you. Can I see, can I see this particular table that I have created in the test one user or test two user or test three user? Can I see this particular table that I have created in the test one user or test two user or test three user? Guys, have you understood the question? Label means the name that we are giving for the table. Okay. Label is nothing but a place where we are going to give the name for the table, not the parent table. Okay. I'm going to explain the parent table, child table later on. Okay. No need to worry about that. If the user has a role given for the table, then they can have the table in their instance. Okay. Sir, it is possible to extend student table with the demo test table. So as for now, it is not possible because I already created the demo test table. If I want to extend the student table and if I want to create a new table extending that table, I can do that. Pavani. Okay. So you are telling that based on the role that you are going to access. Okay. So, okay, leave it. I will tell you one more thing here. So if I search for the student here, if I search for the student, I can see the application as well as I can see the module. But I haven't created this particular application. I haven't created this particular module. And I haven't specified any role for this also, right? You got the question. I haven't specified any role for this particular module as well as application also. So in this particular case, what happens is like whatever the table role that I am giving, sorry, whatever the table role that is generated whenever the table is being created, that will act as a role for the application as well as module also. Okay, the same role should be required to access this particular table as well as module as well as application. Okay, whenever you are creating any table, so what is the first thing that you need to see? That should be whatever the table that is been created, whatever the role that is given to that table, so that role is required to access the application that has been created by the table, to access the module, that role is required to access the module as well, and whatever the data that is inside that particular module, that is also required for the role. Okay, so these all things can be accessible based on the role that you are going to give, that is created whenever the table is been created. So you can identify these things, guys. So let me write here a few things. So for the custom table, for the custom table, what is the differences that you have observed between the custom table and standard table? One is, I mean, so for the custom table, if you observe, I already told that that is indicated with u underscore table name. Okay, that is indicated with u underscore table name. Whatever the table name that you give, that you created, so that is starting with u underscore table name, that we consider as the API name for the table. Okay, API name for the table. So if you go for the next points, whenever the table is being created, six fields are created, four ACLs are created. ACLs are nothing but access control list, guys. So I'm going to explain you that in the later on classes. Access control list. One role is created. Role is created. So here we can even remember the role also, guys. Like whatever the table name that we give, we can directly give the table name to open the table name in the filter, right? Like I have created just now demo test table. So if I want to access the list of records under the demo test table, now what is the thing I need to search for? I can directly search for the API name dot list, right? So I can directly use underscore table name, that is demo underscore test dot list, so that I can directly access the list of records under demo test table. If I go for the form, I need to search for the dot form or under beside the table name. Okay. So if you go for the next other things, role, so that role also will be identified very easily. That is also starting with underscore u, and then after you will see the table name that you giving. Then after underscore user. So this is the role identification of a custom table, guys. Okay. So let me show you that for the student as well. That will be easy for you to remember. So let me go for the student table. This is the student table, right? Table student. Click on that. So here is the API name of the student. Okay. U underscore table name. If you give any extra name that is added, that will be added with the underscore that name. And whenever the table is been created, once the table is been created, you can't change the API name of the table, guys. Okay. So please remember that you can't change the API name of the table once the table has been saved to the database. That means if you click on save or if you click on submit, once it is done, you can't create that once again. Okay. So let me go with the role also. So this is the role of the table, right? That is the user role that we call. That is starting with the u underscore, and here in the middle we can see the table name, then after underscore user. So this is how we are going to identify the custom table, and we even can access this custom table using the API names. Okay, so what is the role that we need to give, and we can directly remember the role of the custom table that if we know the name table name directly. So if you suppose, let me create one more table like mentor. So what could be the role of the mentor? Guys, please tell me, if I want to create a table called mentor, if I created a table called mentor, then what is the exact thing? So what is the role that is going to be created? That is u underscore mentor underscore user. Okay. So that's how you need to remember the custom role that is going to be created. Okay. So if you understood these all things, let me go with the fields under the table. Okay. So let me go with the fields under the table. So here from the table, we have two ways to create the fields, guys. And from the form, we have three ways. Okay. So from the table, we have two ways to create. And from the form, we have three ways to create. So as comes to today's class, we are going to discuss only table administrator, right? So I'm going to cover two ways to create the tables as well. So one is directly, you can see whenever the table is being created, the six fields are created, right? Under that, you can see the insert a row new option. So double click on it, where we can define the name of the table. So that is first name. So this is the first name that I'm giving. And after that, I need to decide the data type also, guys. So what is the field data type? Means whatever the fields that I'm going to give, that should store the value of that particular field, right? That should store the value of the user. Okay. That means whatever the data that is being entered, that should store in the form of a that will be stored in the form of different data types. So whereas coming to the first name, that is nothing but that includes only letters as well as any other things that is there in the first name. Okay, so that is nothing but I can directly choose string as my data type. Okay, so let me click on save. If we go for the next things like last name, I'm going to create one more field, last name, and I'm defining the same data type called string. Okay, so here the reference is empty for everyone, guys. Reference is empty because we can use this reference only for the reference data type, and I'm not defining any maximum length for this particular fields that I'm choosing. And I can set also a default value what should be appeared whenever the record is being created. I'm not doing that, and I can see the display value. Suppose if you want to display this value, like if this particular table is been called to any other table, whatever the value that you want to display, like whatever the first value that you want to display, we can make that value as a true, so that that value is be displayed to the table. Okay, so while explaining the reference, I'm going to explain this display as well, so you will going to understand how that display is going to work. Okay, so here I got to see I have created two fields. Okay, here I got to see I have created two fields. One is first name, one is last name, and I have defined the data types. And let me save that. Okay, so I already told that we can save using form header. Click on save, or context menu, click on save. Otherwise, we can directly update. If you feel that is there any other work pending and that should be done after this particular thing is been saved, then you can click on form header and save, or if you go for the context menu and save. Other than that, if that is the work that you have done is been updated and there is no work other than this to be shared, then you can click on update. Then it will go back to the list of records. Okay. So I'm back to the page, main page, guys. So now let me go to the students table. Let me go to the click on the module so that I can see the list of records. And if I click on new, you will see first name and last name. Okay. So these are the two fields that I have created from the first way of a fields creation. Okay. So now let me show you the second way how we are going to create that. Let me use the all navigation so that you people can remember how I'm navigating to the tables also. Okay. So tables, under system definition, click on tables. So this is the tables and I need to search for my table, that is student. So this is my table that is created. Click on the table and you can see in the columns, I have added two fields. Okay, first name and last name it is added. If you want to add few more fields, you can click on this first way, that is insert a new row. Okay, so rather than this, we have one more option. Here is the new button, right? Here is a new button beside the, so on the top of the display. So if you click on this also, it will open the form in the different preview. That means in the next page where we can create a field that is in the student table. Okay, so table has been already fixed, that is student table, and here I need to define the data type before going to give the name. So previously I can give the any label name that will define the data type automatically, but here is coming to the new option. We need to manually define the data type first, then only we can decide what is the label name that we are going to give. Okay, so now let me go and give one more things like phone. So let me search for the phone. So here is my phone data type. We have phone data type also, guys. So this is student phone number. Okay, student phone number. I'm creating one field called student phone number. So if you go with the second way, that is, if you go with the second way, if you click on new, we even can see the few functionalities is being displayed over here. Okay, so few functionalities is being displayed over here. These are the additional functionalities for the field. So I will explain this later on while we are working on the form and what are the additional functionalities, how we can use this also. Okay, so these are the additional functionalities that we have, and the field has been created, right? I don't want to keep any default value, and also I don't want to use any choice. So let me click on submit. So if you go and check for that particular field in the columns, that will be there. See, that particular field has been created, and I will create one more field and clicking on the new so that you will remember that. Okay, so click on the new. So define the data type. So let me take email. So for email, there is no specific data type, guys. If you search for that email, there is no specific data type. What you can do is like, we can directly use string. Okay. So let me click on enter. So for that string, I'm using string as my data type. And here I need to define the label student email. So whatever the label name that we are giving, that will be automatically use the API name also. Here also you need to observe one more thing, guys, that is whatever the way that used for the table to create a table, like whatever the name that we are giving. So the same thing is applicable for the field also. If you give the field label name, then it will automatically picks and use the field API name. That is also starting with U underscore, guys. Okay. So now let me click on submit. So it is asking one more thing, like the maximum length. So means how many characters should be possibly entered in this particular string. Okay. So it is the mandatory field that I need to fill. Oh, here I have mentioned 120. Click on submit. So you can check that in the columns. Here you can see student email has been created with the string. Now I already been repeating this, guys, and also once again I want to tell that whenever we are working on the form, any form, if you're working on the creation of a table, if you're working on the filling any form in the table, whatever the thing that you're doing, please update that form. That means we have created two fields, right? We have created two fields, that is student email and student phone number. If I'm not updating this or if I'm not saving this, then what happens? It won't accept that into the database. That means these two particular fields won't be visible if I go for the student form. Okay. So that means I need to save this. Click on save. I have saved it. That means this particular configuration that I have updated will be automatically saved to the database. Now let me click on update. I can use update as well as I can use save as. That is perfectly fine, whatever the choice that I made. Okay. If I use update, what happens? I will go back to the list of records. If I use click on save, then means whatever the data that I have created, that will be saved to the database, but I will remain in the same page so that I can continue the work. Okay. So now let me click on the all menu and search for students. So I'm going to the student application. Just click on the module name so that I can see the list of records. And here, if I click on new, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4 fields are created. Okay. This how we are going to create the fields using the table form, guys. Okay. So these are the two ways where we are going to use to create the fields from the table side. Okay. So got the clarity, guys, how we are going to use, how we are going to create a table and how we are going to create the fields. Find the remaining fields SSID created by, recorded by, updated by, or not seen in the form or of a record. So that are system fields, that are system created fields that won't be available on the form, guys. Okay. So whatever the fields that are created by the system that won't be as visible on the form. If you want to see that particular fields, right? If you want to see that particular fields, I will show that where you can see. So I'm in the list of the records, right? I'm in the list of records. Here we can see one icon here. Here we can see one gear icon. This we call as a personalized list. Personalized list. Let me click on this. If I click on this, I am going to see all the fields that are there in the table. What are the fields that I want to display? I can move that to the selector section. Suppose if I want to display the first name of a student and also the email of the student and also the last name of the student. Okay. So these things I want to display. And rather than is created by, I want to display a few more things like updated by, created by, updated. Okay. So if I want to see the system edit file, system fields, that will automatically store the values. Okay. So this is how it will show you. Okay. So this is the time whenever I created the record, that is storing the time, and who created the record, that is storing in the created by field, and who is updated this record. If someone is going to work on this record, that person name is been updated over here. Suppose rather than admin, if someone is coming to this record and updating this record, then it will show updated record has been this person, and even that will show the updated record time as well. Okay. So you can check with the time of the created record. Now let me open this record and let me give the changes here. So let me add the name for the record. Let me update it. You can see created by time is been there here and updated by time is been there here. You can see the time duration has been changed and the updated person is admin also. And even updates that I have done on the form is been shown in the list of the records. Okay. So this is how we are going to create the record on the form. Got the clarity, guys? So, whereas coming to the many-to-many relationship, we already know about the many-to-many relationship. Already we have worked on that. That is nothing but we are including one user in multiple groups and multiple roles. So that will consider as a many-to-many relationship. Whereas coming to one-to-many relationship, that I will explain in tomorrow's class by taking the reference field. Okay, reference as my data type, and I will show you how we use the reference data type and how we use one-to-many relationship as well. Okay. So whereas comes to today's class, yeah, we have for 10 more minutes, guys. Let me continue the topic and let me show you what are the other things that I can explain. Okay. So let me go to the PPT. So here is the base table. Base table is the task table here, and you can check three other tables are pointed over here. And whereas coming to the core table and custom table differences, the tables that are created by the system that are nothing but the core tables that are existing tables. Even base table is a core table. Okay. So here you can see all the core tables, and here you can observe the extended table also, guys. Here parent table is been task table and child table is incident table. That means what are the fields that are there in the parent table? That means all the fields that are there in the task also been there in the incident table. Okay, that we can use or we can't use, that we can decide later on. But we will get all the properties of a parent table if we extend that from the parent table. Okay, same goes with the custom table also. Tables that are created by the admin or a developer are called as a custom table. That means user created tables are nothing but the custom tables. And here base table is a team celebrations and child table is a holiday party. And if you go for the custom table, and this is other custom table where it is not integrated with any other table, so that is nothing but a team awards. Okay. So whereas coming to the team celebration, we call that as also base table because that is not extended by any other table, but it is being extended and that is used as a parent for the holiday party, right? So got the clarity how we can call the base table and how we can call the core table and how we are going to call the custom tables and how we are differentiating extended table, parent table and child table. So once again explain how to add email. I have added the different data type, guys. Okay, so let's go for the table once again. Student table, right? Sorry, let me go for the tables where I can add the fields in the table. So under system definition, click on tables, search for your table. Student is my table. Click on it. Here in the columns, I can see I can add all the fields in the column label. So click on insert a new row and then mention the name of the label. Okay, then after click on save. And you can't see the API name here, guys. That will be generated automatically if you click on this particular page. Insert a new row. Whereas coming to this new button, whenever you are creating the field, it will also display the API name there itself. Okay. And from here, you need to define the data type. So from here, I'm selected string as my data type for the email. Okay. So as comes to this particular related links, guys, as comes to this particular related links, I can use these related links to navigate to the table. Okay. Suppose if I want to open a form, okay, I can directly click on layout form. Okay. So it will show you all the fields that are there in the form and what are the extra fields that are there in the form that you want to add on the form or not. Okay. Even you can see all the created fields, like all the created fields by the system. If you want to add this also, that you can add on the form, that will be read only fields that you can't edit it, that will be automatically added. Let me show that as well. Okay, so let me add two fields here. Created by, created time, save it. Search for student, click on this. If I click on new now, I can see created by field and created field, but that are read-only fields that I can't edit that. Okay, that will be automatically taking the data from the system itself. Now let me take one more field record to be created here from any one of you. Yeah, guys, I'm going to share the quiz link. No need to worry. Just wait 5 minutes. I'm going to share that. So when is the quiz time? Quiz. Test human is my record name. Then after mention the mail ID, e@gmail.com is the mail ID, and I'm mentioning the phone number. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So this is the record phone number. And if I go to the context menu, if I save that, I can see the record details has been updated. This record has been saved to the database. And if you see created by field and created field is been updated here. So these are the system created fields that will automatically pick the value based on the configurations that are given. Okay. Got the clarity, guys, about the today's concept? Yeah, definitely. Venkat Rohit. I will make sure that will be added. Any more doubts, guys? For tomorrow class, I think there is tomorrow class is for you. Let me think of that. Let me check with the schedule, and I will tell you. So, whereas coming to the next class, I'm going to discuss about the things that are coming from the form. Okay, so I have discussed only two types where we can create the fields, and we have more three types to create the fields, and what are the different differences that you are going to observe if you create a field from the form and if you create a field from the table, and what are the different ways that are there in the form layout, like form customizations. There are three ways. For each and every way, there is a unique things that should be taken. Okay. So now update your email in your record. Okay, I can do that. Even if I don't want to open that in the form, I can do from using this only. If I double click on that, I can create my record. So these are I'm going to use this called as the list reader. Okay. So we are going to I'm going to explain this in the careful way, very in the later on sessions, how I'm going to use the list editor and how I'm going to use the form configurations, everything. So for next class, I'm going to explain what is list. Sorry, what are the different types of fields that we can create using form methods. That are three methods. One is form layout, one is form design, one is form builder. Okay, so each and every way is a unique way, and there are some differences that you need to observe very carefully while creating that. Okay, and next comes to the things that I want to explain is like what is reference data type and how we are going to use this difference data type in our table. And then after I'm going to explain how we can use extends option, like how we can make this particular student table as a parent table, and how we can get the exact properties that are there in the particular table to be added to the next table. Okay, so these things will be explained in the next class, guys. So I think this is the time for me to share the quiz for you people. So everyone should be active, and everyone should. Yeah. Mohammed, please wait for that. I think whatever the link that has been shared in the Telegram group, right? So in that particular link only, that drive link only, all the recordings is been updated. You can check that first. Yeah, chatbot is necessary for you to complete, guys. Please try to complete. If there is any errors occurs that while working on that, you can directly contact from the Telegram group. Okay, take a screenshot of that and post that in the Telegram. So let me share the quiz link, guys. Be ready. quiz link. Yeah, guys, I'm going to share the link. Just wait for 1 minute in the chat. Mm. Yeah, yeah, I got the idea, guys. Quiz link. Yes, I'm going to share that. Wait 1 minute. Yeah. So quiz link has been shared in the Q&A, guys. Please check that, and everyone should attempt the quiz. Okay, don't miss the quiz, and we even can take the details in that. Okay, so please try to fill the details, and then after, please attend the quiz. Everyone, that is very mandatory for you people to attend the quiz, guys. Don't skip that, and we are going to track this as well. Okay, so everyone can able to access the link. Please tell that. Are you able to access the link or not? Confirm me, guys. You are not able to access. Yeah. Gus, just wait a minute. Just wait a minute, guys. Let me share that link once again. Yep, I will share that link once again. Let me remove the access for the first of all. Guys, just wait for 2 minutes. I'm going to share the link once again. Okay. Don't request for that. వస్తుందా? Guys, please check with the link once again. I have been shared that once again. Everyone can access that link. Everyone do fill the details as well as attend the quiz. Link has been spammed in the chat. Okay. So that is in the Q&A session. Okay. I have shared one link in the Q&A session. Everyone should go to the quiz. That means everyone should attend the details. Then after you can start the quiz. Okay. Please make sure to give the correct details, guys. Don't worry about this marks of the exam. Okay. Please make sure to get the correct details of you. And then after, please try to attend the quiz. Okay. The quiz is very easy. You all can attempt 10 by 10 questions very easily. So go with the quiz. Okay. Everyone, please tell me, are you able to access that or not? Sir, I'm able to access chat box. Oh, no need of accessing that in the chat box. I'm sharing that in the Q&A section, right? I'm also sharing the link in the Q&A, guys. Please check that. Okay. So everyone, please check that in the Q&A, not in the chat. Okay. Please confirm me, are you able to access that or not once again as well? So which mail I need to give, either personal or college? So what are the mail ID that you need to give over there? That mail ID should be the mail ID that you have used for registration. Okay. So the mail ID that you have used for the registration, that you fill the form, right? It's the smart bit form that whenever you got the form, you fill the form, right? That mail ID should be given over there, guys. I think you can copy the link. Check with that, guys. Okay. If that has been copyable, so please share to your friends as well. And please tell them also to attend the exam. So it's not open. Let me paste the link once again. Guys, everyone, please check that I have been shared once again. I can access it. Okay. So let me also check what are the things that are there. Here, first thing is you need to mention the student name that you all know, and mention the name mention the email ID that should be registered, the registered mail ID. Then after mention the gender, then also mention the college name, university, and student hall ticket number, branch. Branch is the branch that you are working. Okay. Like from your college. And then after mention the phone number, then after select the administrator, ServiceNow administrator, click on next. Okay, there you can start the quiz. Just now you need to submit that, guys. After in the end of this session, there is no sorry, there is no one is going to accept the quiz. Okay, everyone should complete here itself, now itself, within these 10 minutes. Okay, for each question, you can go with 1 minute and you can complete that question in within 1 minute. the branch, the branch that you have studied in your BTech, or whatever the branch that you're working presently in your BTech or degree, whatever the thing that you belongs to. So for choosing four or three options, there are correct. It is getting only one is selecting. Oh, okay. No problem. Select one option. That will be automatically corrected. Okay. I think they haven't selected the multiple option selection. Okay. So make sure that everyone should answer each and every question within the end of this session, guys. Everyone should complete this particular quiz. There is no extra time and there is no one can access after this session even. So you can't open. Okay, so let me share the link once again. Guys, if you are not able to access the link, please tell me. I'm going to share the link once again for you people personally. But everyone should attempt the quiz. No, guys. That is not good for sharing this link in the group. This particularly to check how many of you people are being actively present in the session and how many are you actively participating in the class activities. Guys, I'm not going to share this link in the group because this particular link is being only valid for this 20 minutes of time duration. Okay. So after the end of the session, this particular link will be vanished. No, and no particular thing can be accepted. Don't worry about the marks. Whatever the marks that you get, no need to worry about that. I will let you know. So it's not opening. Let me confirm that once again. Yeah, guys, it is working perfectly fine for me. Check with your network. Check with your network, guys. Check with your network and open that once again. Yeah, guys, if you have completed the quiz, you can leave the meet. That's fine. And then thank you for participating in the quiz, guys. No. There is no consideration for this quiz marks. This is the test knowledge that we are testing from the sessions that we are took for the week. And what are the things that you got understood and what are the things that you are not able to understand. By this, I can consider this how many of you people are getting my entire concept that I'm delivering. No need to select multiple options, select one option. If that is being displayed as a multiple option, also select one option from that. Sai, please share the screenshot of that in the Telegram and post your error. Okay. Mm. You repost the link to register. Okay. Let me share the link of that particular NASCOM as well, guys. Hmm, where is it? Where is this NASCOM link? And you already know that I have already assigned one task for you people. You need to complete the micro certification that is under Welcome to ServiceNow. Okay, everyone, please try to complete that as well. Don't miss that. Uh, where is this particular thing? Someone is asking for the NASCOM link, right? You can check that in the Telegram group, guys. In the Telegram group, that link has been already shared. And don't worry about the marks for the quiz. Okay, so I'm going to test your knowledge. That's it. Don't consider this marks for any result or anything that you are expecting for. If you want the marks for this particular exam, I'm going to share that as well in the next class. Okay, no problem. Chill. So guys, that's all for the day, and I hope everyone is going to write the quiz and everyone going to complete the quiz. That will be ended in within 10 minutes. Okay. So if you're not able to complete that, please try to complete that. I'm going to spam the link once again. If everyone is completed that quiz, they can leave the meet, and have a nice day, guys. Enjoy the day. This link is here outlined. Let me check with this, guys. I think I'm not able to share the link. Yeah, guys. Bye, everyone. Have a nice day. And I hope you all got to know about the table administrator. So in tomorrow's session, we are going to, or like in the next session, we are going to work on different methods where we're going to create the fields that are from the form. Okay. So we have three methods. Then after we are going to know about the things that are there from the extended table, how we are going to use the extended table and how we are going to get the configuration from the extended table. Then after we are going to work on the reference data type. Okay. So thank you everyone. Have a nice day. Bye everyone. You all can leave the session and please try to complete the quiz as well. If you are not completing the quiz, please try to complete the quiz as well. Then I mailed to the small business team to change the course enrollment from the IML to the service to admin. They responded to me with a message, change the course. Okay, then what is the issue? Mohammed, you can directly contact for this to the support only. So no need to mention that in the session. Okay. So you can directly message them in the support only. So let me, Mohammed, can you share your details? Mohammed, fast, can you share your details?